Hello friends, today is a quick video on 10 changes, lifestyle changes, product changes that I have made that has really helped my hair grow super long and super thick in a short-ish amount of time. Number one is I started to use a water filter. A lot of water all around the country has either hard metals, chemicals, things that can kind of like coat your hair. So I started using a water filter and I did notice the results pretty immediately. Mine is a combination of a water filter and a water softener. Most water filters are only going to be taking out chlorine and any other like large particle things. So they're not actually filtering out as much as you think that they are. You actually need a water softener for that. So the one that I use is this one right here. It is amazing. After all the research I've done, it was the best one on the market. So I have been using that. If you want me to go into more detail later on, let me know. Number two is I have been doing very consistent trims myself. And by trims, I mean on a weekly, often more than weekly, because I just enjoy it. It's really fun for me. If you enjoy plucking eyebrows, you're probably going to enjoy this too. I go through my hair, through the lengths, through the midsections, and I find any little split ends and I trim them off myself. So I do that all over my hair, being in a somewhat lit environment. You can be in like full sun, soft sun, and then having either black pants on or something black or dark underneath you really helps you to hold up the individual pieces of hair, find those split ends, and then cut off right above it. That has stopped the splitting from going even farther. So while it's not growing your hair any faster, eliminating the splits when you see them will prevent it from splitting even further up the hair shaft. So that is a regular thing that I do in my routine now. Like I said, I probably do it a couple times a week. I just find the splits, find the break, and trim a little bit above that all throughout my hair. And I use hair shears for that. I don't use kitchen scissors. Get a pair of hair shears. You can get them at Sally. Those versions aren't super expensive, and that's what I'm using. The next one is pretty obvious. It is not sleeping when your hair is wet. Your hair gets damaged really easily when it's wet. I hadn't been doing this most of the time. This was never like a huge problem for me, except when I was much younger. But even on those lazier days, just making sure that I'm not sleeping when my hair is damp. And then another tip kind of going into that sleep as well is sleeping in protective styles. So I tried the hair bonnet. Sometimes it works for me. A lot of the times it just makes my head too sweaty, and because I like volume, that kind of defeats the other thing that I'm going for. So if you're not looking for huge volume, you could probably sleep in a bonnet just fine and not either crush the volume or not let your head get too sweaty. That was another thing that kind of crushed my volume, is I would put a bonnet on and then I would just wake up too warm the next morning. My head would be too hot and warm and some of my volume will have fallen. The thing that I find works the best for me is a super loose braid, and then instead of putting the end in a scrunchie, I like to use a baby jaw clip. So a little clip just right at the end of the braid. And I actually do that most of the time in my daily life as well, if I don't want to use an elastic, because it'll either leave a mark or it will kind of kink and break. Some of the bleach ends that I still have on my hair are much more fragile. A regular hair elastic will kind of damage that. So either using a scrunchie, though that still sometimes leaves a mark for me, I prefer those little mini jaw clips. The next one might seem super silly because it's kind of common sense, but I think all of us don't treat our hair as nicely and as gently as we could be, myself included. I think it was Holistic Habits that said, treat your hair as if it was a rose petal, and I have kind of taken that to heart. I think in a lot of our life, when we're driving specifically, or when we're sitting down on the couch, relaxing, your hair is just behind you and you're leaning on it between a hardback chair, the couch. Like I said, the driver's seat is where I noticed it the most for me. And you are just creating friction. So it's rubbing back and forth on these surfaces. Some of them are harder than others or have more friction than others, and that can be causing breakage. It can be causing damage that will lead to further breakage. So now I am super careful every day with how I'm treating the lengths of my hair. When I'm driving, I will either wrap it or braid it and pull it over the shoulder that doesn't have the seatbelt, so that the seatbelt isn't cutting into my hair. And then when I'm sitting down, again, I'm just softly twisting and leaving it over my shoulder so it's not in between my back and the chair. And I've definitely noticed that I haven't been creating more damage, no more frizz. Keeping it in front of me and keeping it safe has just felt like another bit of self-care, which I've really enjoyed. I've never been one to pull my hair back tightly. I'm not into the slick back styles on myself. I have kind of a funny hairline, which is why I like bangs and why I like hair kind of to be more in front of me. But if you are someone who pulls their hair back, maybe give it a break every once in a while, because you can definitely cause thinning along the hairline when you're pulling your hair back or slicking it back too often. That's a form of traction alopecia, and just pulling in the same areas over and over and over again can really weaken those roots and weaken the strands. So when I do pull my hair back, I just do a loose and low ponytail, and that is with either a silk scrunchie or another soft scrunchie. I also use clips a lot, so I will twist little pieces back and just secure with a clip. And that will get my hair out of my face. And then even if I twist, I can put that into a loose braid and secure with another claw clip or secure with another like small silk scrunchie. But there are ways to keep your hair out of your face without pulling it back tightly. Again, if you like that tight slicked back style, maybe limit that to once a week. The next one that I feel like I've gotten actually quite good at this year is mastering heatless styles and doing heatless styles whenever possible. So you can use heatless stylers like this. I have this thin one. I didn't like this one on my haircut. I have layered hair and the ends of my hair are just thinner than the top in general. So I would get nice waves up top and then really thin kind of spirally curls at the bottom, which I was not a fan of. I do want to try the thicker version, but I ended up liking an actual robe tie the best of all, which is how I did these waves here today. If you'd like to see a more in-depth version of how I do mine that work really well for actual sleep and if you're a side sleeper, and then I also have a couple of recommendations for how to avoid weird kinks and bends at the end of your hair. So let me know if you want to see that. But definitely eliminating heat as much as possible and using heatless curls. One of my favorite things that I have started integrating to grow healthier, thicker, stronger, longer hair is using a serum. So this is a scalp serum, and this is the Better Roots by EVOLVh. I use this on my scalp on wash days normally. So I will wash my hair and then put this in all along like the front and then my part line. It's not greasy, not oily whatsoever, and I am super sensitive to that kind of stuff because I like really big volume, and that normally requires not super silky hair. You need a little bit of dryness, or at least just like super clean hair for a lot of volume. So this one has been absolutely amazing. The ingredients are fantastic. I can list a little bit right here and then also put the link for this. But I've definitely noticed a difference in some of the thickness along the edges of my hair after using this. So there are plant stem cells, botanical actives, and it is actually clinically proven to boost the appearance of thicker, stronger hair. So this one has been a favorite for me. The last two pieces are also product-based. So one is shampoo pre-oiling. So I just use a silicone-based oil. You could use any type of oil. This is the Day Prickly Pear. I didn't love this on my hair as a regular oil. It felt a little too heavy for me. I don't like that greasy, overly shiny look, but I had it already and I didn't want to waste it. So I've been using this as a pre-shampoo oil, and essentially it just helps protect your hair from shampooing, and I just do it right on the ends where I have most of the bleach or where I have most of the damage. I still have a lot of damage from here on down, I would say, and I'm slowly growing that out. That kind of is the start of this hair journey, is just growing out old damage, old bleach, and then split ends. So by coating your hair in a silicone-based oil, it allows the shampoo and the water to kind of slip over that. It still will get washed out of your hair, but it just kind of protects it a little bit more than going in with shampoo on your hair in general. And then the last one is a treatment. I've been getting definitely into adding more moisture and hydration to the ends of my hair. Basically, preventing splits and preventing breaks and damage is half of the battle when you're growing your hair. The other half is getting healthier hair to grow from your roots and from the start, but the other half is just not allowing what you have already to break off. And so this has been a favorite for me. This is the EVOLVh Super Finish Polishing Balm. I have another video about this already, but it's super lightweight, really moisturizing, never greasy, never sticky, and I can put this in my hair honestly as many times as I want. And it doesn't get rid of curls. It doesn't ruin a style. It's kind of this lightweight, I don't know, not even a gel, but it's not a water either. And I just smooth it in. It gives shine, it gives heat protection. Look how silky that just made the ends actually. But it never disrupts your style or disrupts your curl, which is super important for me. And I will put this in every day. So that one you can put in on wet hair, on damp hair, on dry hair, and I absolutely love it. That is a natural brand, natural ingredients. So I don't like to normally be coating my hair with silicones normally, just to create more buildup, less volume, more dullness over time. I use silicones where they're necessary, and this product doesn't have any of that in there. So those are my 10 tips for creating healthier hair, longer hair, thicker hair. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. I respond faster on Instagram. And if you want anything to go, if you want me to go more in depth on anything from this video, also let me know. I'd be happy to dive into more detail about any of these things. Thanks so much for watching.